Now, despite persistent selling reported at the bourse on Tuesday, which was the previous session, the benchmark indicator, the all-share index, actually was down 2 basis points. We scored the second red close today. Joining me from Lagos to take stock of today's trade at the Lagos bourse is Dare Fajimolu, the Chief Research Officer at Blue Vertex. Dare, a pleasure to have you join us on Closing Bell, West Africa. What shaped the markets today?
Thank you, Christy, for having me. So today, before now as well, actually, we've been having weak sentiment in the market. This is reflected partly in the number of trades executed on a daily basis. Today, the number of trades declined again, even though volume was partly helped by cross deals or negotiated transactions. But generally speaking, the breadth is negative. We have more decliners than gainers. If we look at, this has been the trend for a while, and if you look at last week, for instance, we had about 14 gainers versus 47 decliners. So it's a reflection of investors' apathy to equities generally. Yet there are some mixed interests in tier one banks and a couple of other large cap or blue chip companies. So that's essentially the recent color that we've been seeing in the market.
Weak sentiments clearly as shown by the numbers. But Dario, are there macro indicators rather that the equities may be responding to at this time that we need to address, of course, beyond the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, one cannot rule out the COVID-19 pandemic, certainly, but generally speaking, in Nigeria's macroeconomic conditions are unconvincing for investors. So if we look at Q1 numbers for Q1 GDP growth for Q1 2020, for instance, even though it recorded a positive growth, but it was the weakest growth in the last 5 or 6 quarters. So on one hand, we have slowing growth rates, and then we look at, again, Nigeria is an oil-dependent economy. Oil market, yes, oil prices are up. Brent or vanilla is about 21% so far this month, but Nigeria is not able to benefit from that because of weak demand and, of course, output costs as well. So even the fact that prices are moving up because of output costs, which suggests that it is not particularly sustainable, and so weak demand for crude oil is still prevailing. So yes, the macro story for Nigeria is unfortunately weak. Inflation figures also going up, so it's partly because of that. And for the foreign investors, FX liquidity will continue to be a concern for them as well.
Now, Dare, one of the conversations that came on the front burner this morning, of course, you must have heard about the conversation surrounding the President Buhari's response to the adoption of the eco currency and reactions to that. How do you reckon this may impact the markets?